What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. So I have been working in and around Harley Davidson dealerships since 2015, and I've been riding their bikes for a lot longer. During that time, I never ever thought we would be having the conversation that we're about to have right now. The title of this video was not clickbait. I really and truly believe we are on our final year of the Harley Davidson Sportster. Now, I'm not just saying that because of the new model that they're launching on the 13th, 1250. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, stay tuned. We'll jump into that in just a minute, because that is one of the factors that makes me think this is the last year of the Sportster. But the fact that for 2021, we only have 3 Sportster models. They've cut down so many of the models that I thought were really good. Some of my personal favorites, the 72, the Roadster, all models that sold well and I thought, were great bikes, have gone away. So I think the writing's on the wall, not just with the fact that they've cut down so many models, but our friends in Europe, they can't even get the bikes anymore due to emission regulations. Here in the United States, I think California is probably not far behind on that. My thoughts are, Harley spending the money on R&D to get the Sportster motor to be compliant in Europe and all the other places just doesn't make sense when they've already put so much R&D into these new Revolution motors that are coming out. We've already got it on the Pan America. The new bike we're about to discuss has it as well. Makes more power, runs cooler, a lot smoother. It does have a lot of benefits, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. Why do we even care that the Sportster is going away if it's going to be replaced by something better? I think for a lot of people, it's a nostalgia. I know not everyone started off on a Sportster, but I know that a lot of us did. If not, you've had a friend who did, you've ridden their bike, you've seen a cool little Sportster build on Instagram or something. Sportsters definitely have their own little culture around them. And then on the flip side, there's also a bunch of guys that are too big, too tough, too cool to ride a Sportster. Sportster's a girl's bike, Sportster's a beginner's bike. There's dudes out there that have built 120 horsepower Sportsters that are awesome. But the Sportster has been around forever. It's an icon in the Harley lineup. That's why I chose to use this bike as a video prop. This one belongs to Timms Harley Davidson. It's a 1972 XLH 1000. As far as I know, pretty much everything's all original on it. Super clean bike. It says it's got 20,000 miles on it. And this thing probably turns more heads than any of the custom builds, any of the big horsepower, any of the blinged out bikes that we build. I feel like I've seen more people stop to look at this thing than any of those other bikes. So let's talk about the Sportster replacement. As of right now, we know that on July 13th, Harley Davidson is going to reveal a new bike. They're not being super secretive about that. They've teased on their social media, and if you pay any attention to Harley Davidson whatsoever, you've probably been able to recognize the bike as what they were calling the 1250 Custom. I would imagine it's probably going to have a new name, but it's definitely obvious that that's the bike. You could tell not just from the tank graphic, but you could see a lot of the parts on the bike. And I think it's going to be that exact model that we've seen previews of before. Now, we don't have a ton of information on that bike yet. Obviously, we know it has the new Revolution engine, 1250 cc's, and a lot of people are comparing that to the 1250 that's in the Pan America and saying, oh, this bike is going to have 150 horsepower. Now, no one knows whether or not that's true or not. I definitely feel like this bike will have a different tune. I hope not. I hope Harley leaves it uncorked and puts it out as is, and it is 150 horsepower. However, I doubt that's the case. I can see it maybe being 110 to 120 horsepower, but we'll have to wait and see on that. We also don't know the price point. Now, if this really is the Sportster killer, or this is replacing the Sportster, obviously it has to be an entry-level price. I'm guessing that this bike is going to come in between $13,000 and $15,000. Now, I know that's a little bit of a spread, but it being a new bike, all the R&D Harley's dumped into it, I'm sure they're going to want to try to make some money back on it fairly quickly. And I also put it just a little bit higher in case they want to do this same bike with the 975cc. They tease the Bronx, which as far as I know for right now has been canceled from that lineup, but that did mean that they do have that motor. So I'm thinking maybe they offer this model or another model with that $975 and try to hit that $10,000 mark to make it a little more affordable for people just getting into the Harley market. Now obviously if the Sportster is completely going away, we're going to need at least one or two more models to give people something to choose from. People like choices, and even if that bike is amazing, there's going to be people that are going to want something else to look at. So I would imagine if this really is the last year for the Sportster, that we'll see at least one more model to replace the current Sportsters. Now, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is the last year? Do you think Harley's going to stretch the Sportster out one more year? What do you think of the new 1250 that's going to come out? And do you think there's a new model that's going to either be announced this year or released with the 2022 bikes next year to help supplement the loss of the Sportsters? Let me know in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you're not already. Thanks for watching the video. And I do plan to make a video specifically on that 1250 once we have all the details. Thanks for watching, guys.